Hello, everyone, and welcome to What Fresh Hell Laughing in the Face of Motherhood. This is Margaret.
And this is Amy. And today, what fresh hell is the holiday season?
It is the freshest, or in fact, perhaps the stalest of hells. Like, I feel like
Is that blasphemous? I mean,
part
I
of
don't intend it to be blasphemous.
no, it's not, but we know what we mean. We mean it with love. We love you, holiday season.
Right.
You offer many wonderful things, but we also just kind of accept that there is a certain repetitive hell to it all. And
And it gets a little
it's
longer every year
I
and a
was
little more
just about
intense.
to say the creep. There was just the meme that everybody was really into of Mariah Carey de-icing after
Like
Halloween
Halloween.
and
Right.
singing her song. And as I keep screeching loudly at my children, Christmas, which is our holiday family tradition, starts when Santa comes down Fifth Avenue in the Thanksgiving Day parade. That is the start of the Christmas season. I
I,
will
yeah,
brook no objections.
I kind of feel this way slash felt this way, but now I get like it is a huge thing to get all this stuff put up and the lights outside in the tree. And I love it once it's done. I don't love doing it. I love it when it's done. And so I'm like, am I going to be mad at somebody who has time like the Saturday before Thanksgiving to put her lights up outside so that she enjoys them for 6 weeks instead of like
Well, you're a
20
better
days?
person than me, Amy, because I will run by that person's house. I will shake my fist and say, Santa has not come down Fifth Avenue. How dare you? I passed a
Because
house just last night that was decorated to the nines.
because you think they're making it worse for the rest of us. Like if because now you're moving the line back.
Yeah, I mean, you do you. I don't really care. But yes, I feel that like seeing the M&M Christmas commercial on October 17th is ridiculous. I mean, we can all agree, right, that Halloween comes first.
Halloween, it must not pass Halloween, I
No,
guess.
no.
Are you
And
seeing Christmas ads before Halloween, or are you just saying like,
Oh,
"What
no, no,
if? That
no,
would
I
be
have seen
terrible."
them before Halloween,
What?
before Halloween,
Nope, nope.
and I will agree, it's too short, but I want to enjoy my Thanksgiving. I want Thanksgiving, I have my little turkey that's hung up, we have an inflatable turkey in the yard. I
Oh,
want it to be Thanksgiving.
oh, you're one of those people that decorates for
My
Thanksgiving.
kids got very into inflatables. I mean, I'm really not, but I just feel like Halloween most everything Halloween and spooky theme come down, but the gourds can stay because they can live through Thanksgiving.
I still have my, Halloween pumpkin on my kitchen table because 'cause I'm not much of a decorator, and that's all I did for
Mm.
Christmas. I
If
mean,
it doesn't
Christmas.
say boo or trick or treat on it, that's fine. It's a
It's
gourd.
it's one of those it's called a doll pumpkin, and it's sort of gray. Have you seen these
Oh,
gray
it's fine.
pumpkins?
Leave it up until
Until it rots.
Santa comes down Fifth Avenue.
Santa's
You're
gonna
fine.
take it and replace
Santa
it.
should collect that for you on his way by your house.
I have a friend. We don't have a yard. I live in New York City, so we don't have a yard for me to worry about. Or really like and we live in a high floor too, so I don't even really have passersby. So the pressure is off for me, in terms of like making people see that my house looks nice at Christmas time. You can't see it from the outside. But anyway, I have a friend whose spouse is so into the yard inflatables that
Yes.
most people in town think that it's a civic like that town money is going in towards the inflatables for Halloween and
Hilarious.
Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day. She's like, no, 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 that's my house. That's just my
That's my
husband putting that
husband
out.
who's way
So
into it.
they're all into the yard inflatables. I have no opinion on those being particularly hard because I don't have to do them,
My
which I'm
neighbor
happy about.
has a husband who, um, is not a person I would tag this way, who becomes complete Clark Griswold at the holidays. And yeah, he's like up on the ladders, he's doing the lights. And now I will say, there are services. My brother-in-law has a landscaping business, and one of the things they do is they put holiday lights on rich people's houses. And I'm like, wait a minute, like we can't
That's
outsource.
not fair.
This is becoming an arms race. Like, I don't feel we should be involving. I mean, I'm very happy for my brother-in-law to earn the money, but I don't feel we should be involving professionals in this.
My mother-in-law has like a florist come and decorate her Christmas tree. It's a present. It's a present from her children every year because for her to have a beautiful tree, and it is beautiful, is very important to her. For
Okay.
me, it's very important to me if I do a tree, and I'm going to come in hot and tell you we didn't do a tree last year because nobody felt like decorating it. I'm like, guys, I'm not doing it just for me. I had no takers. We didn't do a tree. But when I have a tree, I like the handprint ornament, the,
Oh,
like,
it's gotta be
paper
like
angel
right.
they made in
The
2002, like, I am
Joseph's dream coat that I made when I was in 4th grade still goes
yes.
on.
Yes, it is not a unified look. It's not Pinterest worthy, but
Yeah.
it's each thing on the tree is personally meaningful to me.
Yeah, and I could also see as you get older and you've got kids out of the house, like, having a beautiful tree would then become more important.
Sure.
We, now alternate. We travel some years, we don't travel other years to see family, not on a trip, and we use a fake tree the years we don't travel, and now we get a real tree we get a real tree the years we don't travel, and why I ever agreed to that. The real tree is just such a
What
pain
fresh
in the
hell is the
butt.
real tree?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
You
terrible.
you'll be picking those pine needles out of the carpet until you move. Those are just
Well,
there.
and we've got another huge obstacle this year, which is that we travel for Thanksgiving. This is very boring. It's just my own problems, but what the heck? I have my own podcast. I'm gonna make you listen to my own
It's our
problems.
podcast. We get to complain about our problems. That's
Yes,
how
but
it
I
goes.
mean,
And eventually
I'm
yours
not
too,
speaking
everybody.
to you as much as the audience who are like,
Yes.
"Wow, maybe I didn't sign up to listen to Margaret complain about her particular
What
holiday
fresh hell
problems."
is Margaret it's holiday
Listen,
season?
I'm 7 years in, I'm taking at the senators, they're like, "I'm claiming my time." I'm claiming my
Yes.
time right now.
Okay.
Having traveled for Thanksgiving this year, we then come back late on a Sunday night, like
Yep.
midnight on Sunday, we land. The
Right.
kids have school Monday.
Like, jump into your beds so that you can get to school
See, if
tomorrow.
we
Yeah.
don't travel for Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, Santa has arrived. Then the whole weekend
Ching,
is
ching, ching,
decorating,
ching,
and
ching,
it's
ching,
great,
ching,
and we're
ching.
done.
Yeah, that was
And
my
we're
plan
he
this year,
just
yep.
just hear those sleigh bells ring. We're in. But now it's like I'm gonna end up on a Monday decorating my house for Christmas, and it's gonna give me the
And you're
blues.
home for Christmas.
I mean, yes, and then we travel the next day, so we gotta put the
That's what
tree
I
outside.
mean.
It's a thing and a thing and a
Once it
thing.
gets down to, like, 20 days of tree with that requires, like, 14 hours of work on each side, then I start to question it.
Yeah, yeah, and I will say too, and I feel like this is not talked about enough. My baseline house cleanliness is like a 4 out of 10, like, meaning that it's always cluttered, there's always things that don't belong in every room, it's
There's
messy.
clean and then there's cluttered, right? Those aren't the same
Yeah, and
things.
I've got both problems. I'm saying I'm not clean and I'm cluttered, like, it's not.
This year.
Yeah, like, there's cat hair on the rug, like, it's a mess, my house. But I am unable for some reason, I have a personal line, don't wanna decorate dirty. So, like, I can't put, like, a tree skirt down on a carpet that has cat hair on it. So, there's a lot of prep before we even begin
That's the
decorating,
thing.
Amy.
It reminds me of, like, the advice that you're not supposed to put new makeup on top of old makeup. Like, if you're going from, like, day to night and you're going out after work, like, you have to take off your makeup first. You can't put new makeup on top of the old makeup. Reader, I did. I did put on old makeup, but
Reader,
then
I've
it
never heard that,
cracks right
and
away.
goodness
You
gracious, thank
know,
goodness I never heard that
it's
advice.
it's crusty.
I was just watching a TikTok from Chriselle of Selling Sunset. By the way, friends, if you have not
No, don't know who
watched the
that is.
most recent episodes of Selling Sunset, season 7, dive in. It's as my sister would say, a delightmare. Like, it's so fun. But yeah, in this TikTok, she wakes up and they wear an insane amount of it's like a painting on their face, like a full tableau. It's just nothing.
It's a lot
For
of
me,
look.
makeup is like cover the circles, put mascara on, put lipstick on. That's makeup.
Okay.
But not these people. They like draw a whole other set of eyes on their face. It's crazy. But she woke up where she was going somewhere and she's like, I'm going to just reuse the makeup I already have on. Like, what else would you do? To start again would take you 10 hours.
But you're doing that. You gotta do a full back to one of your house before you can
Yeah,
start
I
dragging the
really
boxes
have
out.
to. I can't. I know I will have the like buzzy yuck feeling all season if I know there's like cat hair under the Christmas tree. So I've got to go full back to one
Mhm. Mhm.
before I decorate,
And
which it's a
what's fun
lot.
about that, right? And even if you have kids who are
I'll tell you what's
into
fun about it, Amy. Absolutely nothing.
absolutely nothing. And it might have kids who are into the putting the Santas around the house, whatever, but nobody's into, "Let's mop the floor first."
Oh, no, like,
That's not fun.
pulling the dancing Homer Simpson Santa out of the box gets a 10 from my kids, but, yeah, vacuuming cat hair, it's a
First,
0.
not allowed. Well,
Not allowed.
I've prepared a list of some of the things that I, think are the worst things about the holiday season. Worst minor things about the holiday season.
Amy, I have also prepared a list of
Okay.
such things.
All right. Let's face off with our lists and see what's like the absolute worst thing. See if we can come to an agreement.
Should we take a break first?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll be back.
All right, Amy, what's your first?
I'm not these are not
I have
in
categories. Mine are kind of
oh, here's
categories.
your categories. Mine is more of a free thinking list. I'm not even sure if like the first thing is the worst thing, but I'm going to these are all the things I don't like about Christmas.
Okay.
Um Starting out, this is not even something I have to worry about anymore, but I always hated it. Topping the list in the things that should be fun but aren't category.
Mm.
Going to see Santa and sitting on Santa's lap. It's a terrible idea.
It
It's a
is
terrible idea.
terrible. It is terrible. I mean, I haven't done it in a couple of years, so it's one of those things that like went into the terrible historical category that I never think about again.
Right. Like the most you can hope for is a funny picture of your child screaming where they're on Santa's lap. Although then you might be like, and so why is this funny? And why did I do that instead? Like the idea that you're
Uh,
going to get a usable, shareable picture of your kid sitting on Santa's lap. Even if your kid is smiling, the Santa is going to look so ridiculously bad. I don't know why this is hard for places to do well, but like the Santa's never having it. Even if your kid's having it, the Santa's like, get me out of here. That's not a good picture.
my mom once got in a fight with a mall Santa. Fun fact about me. With my children, I will say two things. I should write a book. I mean, I should teach a course in visiting Santa at the mall because it's one of, on an actor's resume, there's a little thing at
Special
the end that
skills.
says
Right.
special skills. And it's
Juggling.
like I can do
Right.
an English accent and
Right.
I'm good at
Handstand.
hula hooping. Yeah. Special skills on my resume, figuring out when to visit Santa. We always get up at like 9 o'clock, get to the mall 15 minutes before Santa opens. We're the first people in line and we're in and out because we had a bad mall experience with Santa. And we arrived with my mom and she was extremely upset that Santa didn't have a hat on. He had just white hair, but he was not wearing a Santa's hat.
That's not acceptable. That's like Mickey like walking around Magic Kingdom without his head on or something. Like that's
Yeah.
not
I
that's
mean,
not
he was like an old-timey Santa. He had kind of like a handlebar mustache and a plaid
no,
vest.
no,
It was an
no.
elaborate outfit, but it did not involve a hat. So the minute we arrive, we're online, and my mother will not let go of the fact that Santa doesn't have a hat on. Like, what is wrong with this Santa? He doesn't even have a hat.
Half
So
the
he
people
was
in the
very hung
mall
up on
have
it.
a Santa hat on, by the way, right? Like it's a very easily obtainable item this time of year is a Santa hat.
Yeah,
But he
it
used to
seems
be
like
like, oh,
just
I'm the
stick
Santa that
one
doesn't have a
on.
hat on. No,
Yeah, he definitely had his own Santa look, and it was
no
all
way.
wrong.
Yep.
And then, I don't know, the Santa was kind of short with us, and he was kinda grouchy.
Oh,
And then
great.
my mom, it was pretty much under her breath. I won't say she screamed it at the mall Santa, but she did say, "That's one of the rudest Santas I've ever met." And then she did turn around and in a loud voice, she yelled at Santa, "And get a hat," as we walked off. And,
Parting shot.
I was like, "Wow, mom, it's not every day I see someone accost a mall Santa." But she
Oh,
was, she was at that phase of life. My kids, she was probably in her 70s, and she was like, "I don't have time for this. And by the way, Santa, get a hat."
I wish she was here for this episode because
Yeah.
she would probably come with a list.
She had stuff to say about
She did
Santa
it
and his
right.
lack of headwear.
All right, here is something else that I think is a fresh hell of holiday season. When you get well-meaning incoming texts and phone calls from the grandparents, what do the kids want? And they want nothing because they need nothing. And if you come up with one idea for something your 13-year-old wants, now you have to give it to your mother-in-law. Now you're back to zero. You have nothing for your kids.
I'm coming in hot here. I don't want to make anybody mad, but when you call me and ask me to provide 10 links to items that my children want for you to purchase from, I might as well just do it at that point. We're done.
Right.
I've done 98% of the
Right.
gift
I have been
buying.
like, and how about I just buy it, ship it, wrap it, and hand it to you to hand it back to them? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, I have members of my family, who ask for that service, and I provide that service, and it's extra work, but at least we're all being honest about what's going on. Like, "Hey, will you just do this for me?" You know?
And it's
Yes.
not I don't wanna put this on the grandparents, the grandmothers who are doing, at least in this case, are doing this emotional labor and invisible workload. The grandmothers are on this, like, "I have to get something for my grandkids." How dare they ask me what their grandchildren want as presents? What I'm beefing with, I think, is that when they ask this, which of course they ask this because what do they want and who can even say, and you can't just get them an iTunes gift card like you would have 15 years ago. Um, the kids should be doing this. This is labor that should properly be outsourced to the children. Please
Well,
tell your
I'm holding a
grandparents
firm
what you want for
line on this
Christmas.
this
Right, and
year.
then they just don't do it, and then it's like December 20th, and they're like, "Can you please give me something?" They never wrote back to me. Yeah, and I wanna be bah humbug, you get nothing, but then that's not fair to the
No, no, no. I'll
grandparents.
nag my kids about doing it, and I have, but also kids under 8 can't do that. So, like,
Right.
I'm just getting to the phase of you need to make a list, you need to put enough stuff on it for everybody, and then we can farm that out, and it needs to have, like, Lego serial number on it or whatever. It can't be, I want facial beauty product. It's got to be very, very, very
I
specific.
wish that wasn't true because I'm old enough to remember when you bought somebody something, you'd go shopping in stores and you'd buy something that looked like something that they would like. But you kind of can't do that now because everybody's so specific about it that you can't just guess and then they don't even want to tell you because they don't need anything. So my kids get a lot of socks, which is their own problem.
You get
Guess you should have thought of
socks.
something else. Yeah, you get socks.
I have one from my own list,
Okay,
Amy,
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna hit you with. Forgotten extra projects. It's the things that are, like, on the list that when you think about the holiday overwhelm, you forget to even think about these things.
Okay.
In
Like
this
what?
category for me are family calendar. So I make a family photo calendar for the family. It's on the list. And I love having it and I actually love doing it, but it's like when I think about the picture of how I'm like, "Oh, I gotta do the calendar too." This also includes, like, gifts for, like, the crossing guard and the music teacher, like, the random holiday gift giving that is outside of the family,
Mhm.
and the people who you forget to do that for.
So is it that you have to do these things, or is it that you forget to do them and then it's the middle of the night, like, cold
Yeah,
sweat, "Oh my
it's
gosh,
just
I
like
forgot to do the calendar."
just when you thought it was safe to get back in the water, like, just when you thought it was safe to complain about the holidays, you remember that, in fact, you forgot to get the crossing guard a gift card, and you
Right.
don't know how much that should be for, and you're panicking.
I just don't so then I don't do it, and then I live with the guilt and shame of not doing it.
Then there's all the, like, we call them lagniappe gifts from my time in New Orleans. It's the little extra. It's the, like, "Oh, we usually also give the
There's a little
grandparents
something for the
a
newspaper delivery.
little." Yeah, or like a little ornament with the kids' pictures, like, we do that usually. It's like it's the ticky-tacky around the edges stuff that breaks me. Like, my husband and I usually sit down one day, and we just literally sit in front of the computer with a list of 25 people, and we're like, "Let's do this," and we just go hard, and we get all the get like, that I can handle, but I pass the crossing guard, and I'm like, "Oh, I should have had a gift card, and that's gonna go in a thing, and a da da da." That's what breaks me at the holidays is the category of other.
Or the haunted, like, "Wait, was I supposed to?" Right? Like, was I supposed to get my spouse something for him to give his goddaughter? Did I forget? Did they give us
Mm,
something last year? Do I seem to
mm,
recall that we were in that horrifying place where there's a one-sided exchange? One time
horrible.
back when I was an actor, one time my agent, she took me out to lunch at the holiday season and she gave me a pair of earrings. I'm like, "Is there
Oh,
anything worse?" Like, I didn't have anything to give her. I was not read in that this was a gift exchanging experience. And I was like, and I never forgot it. Like, that's like the worst thing that ever happened to me is being at this lunch with nothing to give back to that person. So that's what gets me the wait, did we? And I never keep track of like the violin teacher always gives presents to all the kids. So you got to have something to give the violin teacher
it
and
just
roll it back.
feels like and this is a writ large kind of problem of being the, invisible work human is I'm doing 4,000 things, 3,500 of which I don't wanna do, and at the end of the day, I've disappointed someone terribly. Like, it's just the worst feeling, and sometimes that's everything holidays, like,
Yes.
which is I'm going to grind myself into a fine powder, and someone is gonna be like, "That Amy,
Oh,
she didn't even care enough to get me a Visa gift card."
yeah. Visa
Terrifying,
gift card.
horrifying, awful.
That's another thing I hate about Christmas, Visa gift cards. We've definitely talked about this in the past, but the gift card exchange, just like cancel Christmas, cancel Hanukkah. I don't wanna sit in a circle and hand each other gift cards. We just
No,
shouldn't bother.
no, get that gift exchange list going. It's so important.
Okay, here's something that really weighs on me. It might be the worst thing. Buying something for my spouse for Christmas. Like the king of doesn't need anything. If he needs it, he gets it. Doesn't seem to have hobbies. He's got like fitness hobbies, but if he wants a fitness, like he has them all already. He has every fitness accoutrement. I
He
buy
doesn't
him
need the roller thing that works on your
we
abs.
have like 6 rollers on the house. They're all hidden behind the couch. We have all
All the
shapes and sizes.
rollers.
Well, every roller you could think of, we have it already. I get him every year a navy, like, zip-up sweater, and then I realize after have already bought it, that the reason it looks to me like something he would like is that he has it already, right? So then maybe I exchange it for a gray zip-up sweater, then I realize he has one of those too. I get him things that are things he has already because they stand out to me as something that he would like, but talk about, like, there's nothing to get for him. And I just feel like
We
I'm so easy as a comparison. Like, just get
we
me a pair of
had
earrings.
we had asked our Facebook listeners for their holiday worsts
Yeah.
and their fresh hells, and Laura agrees with you, buying my husband gifts.
Mhm.
He
I don't
loves
want
getting
anything.
presents and I hate stuff.
Um,
And, I don't really my husband's easy to buy for.
really?
He
What do you get
likes,
him?
he likes, whiskeys and, like, special kinds of scotches and stuff, so
So you just get that. But aren't you,
I get
like, 10 deep on those at this point?
he drinks them. So
Okay.
that they're not,
All through the year.
yeah, yeah, he drinks them. So, I mean, it's not like a roller, you have it for the next 10 years. The bottle of
Right.
scotch, you drink it, and then it's
This
time
is
for
the
another
point.
one.
Right, right. Like a nice pen, like whatever. Like that doesn't seem fun. And also you don't need it's like Crocs. You know, the problem with Crocs as a shoe brand is not that it's that they are too durable. Like once you buy a pair of Crocs, you're good for a decade. You don't need a new pair of
Right,
Crocs every fall.
right,
They'll
right,
last you outgrow them or you lose them. And
right.
so they don't sell enough Crocs because once people have them, they don't need them again.
That's funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
they last forever.
Mhm.
Try
Mhm.
scotch, it's people drink it.
All right, we'll be back with even more fresh hells of the holiday season.
Amy, I have another general category,
Okay.
and it is travel, all holiday travel. The fact that we have to do it, I love seeing people and I love being together with family at the holidays. But are we shipping the gifts? Are we carrying gifts? Are we driving? Are we getting on a plane? Are we then missing planes and ruining the whole holiday? Like, the holiday plans are so tight. We had, uh, our last Thanksgiving, we left, I'm gonna say 2.5 hours early for the airport, and it ended up with me on Thanksgiving Eve in, like, the cold rain, sending my kids, we missed our flight,
Oh, remember this. Yeah,
and
yeah.
then they were
You sent
like,
your kids.
"You anybody with only a carry-on could go ahead." So I stayed behind with, like, a giant piece of luggage and my husband's golf clubs with, like, nothing to do. I wasn't gonna drive back home. They said you can get a flight at 8 o'clock in the morning. I got an airport hotel, but I had to drag, like, a body bag-sized suitcase and my husband's golf clubs through the cold rain back to the air train at JFK and, like, schlep myself, and I couldn't get a taxi because if you've ever seen JFK the night before Thanksgiving, like, there's no getting a taxi. There's no surviving.
Also, what fresh hell is like these days at airports, they're putting the taxis and the Ubers so far from the terminal. Like you would have had to walk like a mile and a half to get to the taxi stand anyway,
It
if there were
truly was
taxis.
one of those moments where I was just walking in the cold rain in Queens trying to find a hotel, and I was like, "This is it." Like, this is where I just lay down on the sidewalk like the little match girl and just expire. And, I
Yeah.
didn't do that. I eventually walked like 3 miles with these 2 giant my hands, like, gripping, like, cold claws, and spent the night in a, like, airport motel, and then got a different flight the next morning. I do like to be with people, but man, the travel is so hard at the holidays.
Mhm. All right, I feel you. I agree. I'm gonna say I'm gonna save the best for last for myself. Um, Pile managing is a holiday fresh out for
Oh,
me. Every
huge.
year, every year, I'm like, "We are not overdoing it this year." And also my kids are older, so it is easier now that there's not, like, a magical component, like, they're pretty clear of who's enabling their fun. Um, and we are not overdoing it this year. Everybody gets, like, a sweater and a pair of socks and, and a glass of Christmas cheer, and that's it. That's what we're doing for
What
Christmas.
about an orange and some gold coins?
What about an orange and
I
a
mean
a
chocolate gold
$20
coins.
bill, which is what my grandmother used to give us. My tweet grandmother every year gave us a stocking with an orange, some M&Ms, a 64 pack of Crayola
Pretty
crayons,
good.
and a $20 bill. And let me tell you, right, like, but
It's a pretty
I'm
good
sorry to
haul.
disappoint Santa, but I don't really recall what I got, like, the year that I was 8 from Santa, but I do remember that my grandmother gave me a new pack of Crayola crayons and a $20 bill. Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Right, so, like, less is more. We're not doing this. Then it's 3 days before Christmas, or maybe 5 days before Christmas, and I start to look at the piles, and they're not even. And
Mm.
it doesn't matter that, like, somebody's getting, like, a snowboard, for example. I didn't get my kid a snowboard, but you know what I mean? Somebody's getting, like, earrings and somebody's getting a snowboard. The piles don't look
No.
right, and so then I have to buy somebody, like, a root beer making kit so that their pile doesn't look as meager as somebody else's pile. I sound like the worst person in the world right now. I realize that. Materialism, it's terrible, it's everything. But it's everything that's wrong with the holiday season, period. But every year I'm in it trying to measure the piles and make them work
Oh,
and hating myself for
because
doing it.
again, like, you can spend 900 hours shopping and wrapping and getting everything perfect, and if one kid has 4 presents and the other kid has 5, like, that is what Christmas is
Nobody loves
about.
me. Right.
Nobody loves me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, the other,
And Santa wouldn't
obsession.
do that. Santa would bring the same for everybody. Santa's
Yeah,
magical and
Santa
Santa
loves
knows what
us,
kids
but not
want.
mom.
Santa Yeah.
Mom doesn't love
Mom will
us.
mess it up. That's right.
Mom messed it up again. Um, I also get very obsessed, and my husband gently criticizes me about it, but is ordering the presents correctly. Because if you open the Xbox game first, you've
Oh,
only got socks and underwear
I'm
left. Like,
obsessed
you've
with that.
got
Yes.
to make sure,
Yes. The
and
good thing
God
is at the
forbid
bottom.
you open the Xbox controller before the Xbox, right? Like,
Yep.
the batteries, like, there's no sadness like the kid who opens the last present and it's underwear.
Right.
And
You have to
again, like,
crescendo. You have to
do
build to a
people have
crescendo.
bigger problems than this? They do.
Yes. But
Did kids used to be happy with a single orange? They were.
yeah.
Like, were the kids on the Little House on the Prairie kids, like, if they got to eat the pig's tail at the end of Christmas, like, well, it was merriment all around.
Right.
That's just not how we're rolling in
Right. Right.
2023. Like,
Would that it were.
do I the excess is definitely on my list, and, like, it's kind of boring, but it's not just the gift. It's just too much. There's a Berenstein Bears book, Too Much Birthday. It's too much holiday.
Yeah.
It's too much candy. For us, it's too much wine and beer and cocktails. It's too much food. There's just the time of day where you get up and you have, like, a giant plate of, like, French toast and bacon and eggs. And then 2 minutes later, you're like, here's some candied almonds. And then you're like, I guess I'll snack on a candy cane. And by the end of the day, like, your mouth is bleeding, your stomach is, like, distended, and you're just, like, joylessly shoving roast beef into your mouth. Like, the excess of it all is poison and terrible and yet inevitable, and you feel very Grinchy fighting back against it, I think.
Right. And that's why when you're driving by somebody who has her lights up on November 15th, you're like, stop, because you're
No.
making me look
No,
bad.
don't bring
Right.
the
You're like,
terror in.
don't.
Don't bring the terror in.
Right. Right. Maybe she's just trying to take it easier on herself, but it actually makes it harder on the rest of us.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess. I guess I shouldn't judge, but judging is kind of my thing. I mean, don't take it from me, please.
I love holiday cards. I love sending them. I love receiving them.
Yeah.
I love and at least in the northeastern United States, it's become a real tradition to you send pictures of your kids, a shutterfly thing, a tiny
I
prints.
like
They make
them.
it
I
so
like getting
easy.
them. I like sending them.
I love doing it, and, it gets harder and harder. Right now, the fresh hell for me is, finding a picture that each of my children, will accept being sent to, basically everybody we know. Um, they get veto rights. They exercise those ruthlessly. I'm now
Oh.
down to the point where I'm like, I've gotten, pictures pre-approved for 2 of my children. I'm gonna do, 3 solo pictures at this point because that's what I got. I got a picture of child 1 that works, got a picture of child 2 that works. Child 3 is absolutely, like, line in the sand. You may not use that photo of me. I have, expressed a December 1st deadline to this child that
Mm.
I need a picture that's acceptable
It's coming up.
to
We're
them,
hot on the
of
heels of it.
themselves. I
No.
know, I know. Or else I'll pick one. It's kinda like you need to tell your grandmother what you want for Christmas by Friday. It's about
Right.
as likely to happen that I'm gonna get a picture this child is happy with, and then who knows what will happen. Like, I might not send cards this year, which would make me a little sad, but just, again, that I'm making Christmas bright and everybody's mad at me.
You should just send a card with a picture of the 2 kids and then a stick figure of the other
Right,
child.
right. This one doesn't think there is a picture of themselves that's acceptable to send. Sorry.
Yeah, I have that a little bit with the, calendar, the family calendar, and I'm like, I don't take editorial notes on the family
Yeah.
calendar. Or, like, I'll give you 2 vetoes, but that's it. Like, I can't make sure that every single picture I mean, it's fine. You look great. You're fine. But, yeah, I run into this problem as well. I also like the holiday cards. I'm still doing if you can believe it, I'm still doing 3 kids in front of the tree. In some sort of they're not wearing Christmas jammies anymore, that's what they used to have on, but I'm still getting in, like, a red sweater.
And you do it. You squeak it in. I
I
mean,
take it
you
the night the tree goes up, we all get in front of the tree, and we take it, but they're still just young enough, and my oldest are boys, and they don't care, and we're still sneaking by with the picture that nobody approves.
I've become that mom. I mean, I will say my husband and I used to kind of laugh at the people who are still sending pictures of their kids when their kids were like full on grown-ups. Like, isn't there sort of an expiration date on this? Why are you still sending pictures of your kids? They're not kids anymore. And I'm now kind of at that stage. And I'm doing it. I'm doing it anyway. These are
Oh,
my
I like it. I
beautiful
like the
babies.
picture of everybody. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I want a picture. I do
My
like a picture.
My spouse also comes down, this is a hill he will die on, that the parents shouldn't be in the picture, just the kids. He thinks it's weird for the picture. I don't have a strong point of view on that. He really does.
I disagree. I used to feel strongly, and this was just a random hang up, that the picture and I still feel this way for myself, the picture should be seasonally appropriate. Like, I was
Mm.
used to be very thrown by, like, a picture of, like, kids at the beach. I'm like, "Well, this isn't a holiday card. They're, like, at the beach."
It's the best picture of your kids from
Yeah, you just get the
2018.
best
Right,
picture of your
right.
kids from the year. I'm fine with it. I think I was a little judgy of that in the before times. Like,
Should be
well,
Christmas cards and
it
yeah.
should be Christmas themed.
Mhm.
But I used to go all out. I would get, like, the matching Christmas pajamas. They'd be wearing Santa hats. They'd be in front of the tree. I like the vibe. Nowadays, I take 400 pictures in a row in front of the Christmas tree, and I get one usable one.
Okay. I can't do that. That's not available to me because one of my kids is actually not even in the country right now.
That's
So if I'm gonna
right.
send Christmas cards, then I'm gonna have to figure something else out. Or I could send New Year's cards, but honestly, those kind of track to me as like you just didn't get your act together.
Yeah, and I don't want another thing on my list. I want it all. I take the pain. I want it all at once. Like,
And once it's January, I'm like, I don't want these anymore.
I
I
know
looked at
somebody who does
200 of these.
Valentine's Day cards, and
Yeah,
I
I do
get
too.
it because 1, it's very secular, like, it doesn't have any
Yeah,
religious
yeah.
implications, which I think
Except for
for
Saint Valentine.
some people are more comfortable with. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's long in the past.
Right, right.
Uh, and I love the idea of it. It's like, hey, it's a little so I really like the idea of it, but I don't want anything hanging over my head. I wanna calf rope it December 26th.
Right, right. And then I don't want to think about it for another year.
One of, our listeners pointed out, and I do have to speak for this crowd of people because my sister is one of these people, Christmas birthdays.
Oh, yeah. One of my
It's a
kids is a
special
December birthday.
fresh
It's
hell.
rough. It's yeah.
My sister's December 26th, and it's a really
Oh,
hard
nobody
birthday.
loves
It's a
her. I'm sorry to hear that.
hard birthday. And, we always make an effort. It's like you wrap the gifts in birthday. We're all together, which sometimes is nice. There's always like, oh, let's spend the day together. But it does get a little bit like, ugh, now we got to do a birthday. And
I think I just would pick a different one.
that
I
might be
think I
the way
would
to
pick a
do it.
different birthday or just do a half birthday. Like, yeah, my birthday is June 26th.
That might be the way to do it. That might be the way to do it.
I have a cousin whose birthday is September 11th. I mean, talk about unfortunate.
Yeah.
And like, just call it something. So your birthday's September 13th. Like, you're free. You're free to pick another day. It's easy for me to say, I guess. But yeah, I'll just, my 6-year birthday, if I were to do that, is February 29th, which is leap year. So
Oh,
I'm the dork who thinks about those
you could
things. Yeah.
be like a fourth of your age.
Yes, if I just decided my birthday was 6 months away from when it is, it would be February 29th, and I'd be a quarter as old as I am. So why aren't I doing that is the
Yeah.
real question.
Doctor, heal thyself.
I'm almost 10.
Oh, friends, we know the holidays are fresh hells for everyone.
Yeah. I want to finish with the listener wrote in to say something that'll lift our spirits a little bit
Please hit
at
me.
the end of this, right? She wrote in to say, I appreciate the one holiday podcast you put out a couple, maybe more years ago. We've done them all. And by the way, I should say, all through December on Mondays, we're putting out a holiday best of episode because we're going to accompany your gift wrapping and your shopping and your cookie making and whatever
with zounds of holiday content.
hilarious holiday complaining. That's right. So anyway, she wrote in to say there was one of those episodes that she listened to where the takeaway that she got that helped us is we said before the event, before the people come, tell yourself to look out for the special positive moment that's coming, and that will put you in the right headspace. She said, thank you for that little bit of sanity, ladies. This is an anonymous listener. And she wrote in to say, thank you for that sanity that we've reminded her to look out for the small bit of positive. So I'm going to remind myself to take my own advice and look out for the small visit.
It
and
is
look out for the small
really,
bit of positive.
it's
Yeah.
true. And I mean, it is what you make it. And if you put on yourself that, like, I'm going to let someone down, it's not going to be magical. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to remind me of the bad things. It's going to be my in-laws driving me crazy. Like, those things will probably be true. And those things are definitely going to happen. And so I think our only hope is to say, I'm going to have it be magical because of the elements that are already here and available to me.
Look for the Christmas magic.
Yeah.
Or the Kwanzaa magic or the Hanukkah magic or the however you do it magic. The holiday magic.
Yeah. And it's there if you find it. Amy, I don't know if we
Thank you. I
solved
feel
it.
so much better.
Yeah. You could tell that's totally, we don't believe anything we're saying. Which is rare for us, but true in this case. I think the best we could say is laugh at the fresh hell of the holiday season.
Laugh at the fresh hell. Yeah. Let the laws of holiday attrition work in your favor. We didn't even touch on that, but listen to our other holiday best of episodes. It's good advice that we've both put into practice along the way.
And if you'd like to do something special for us at the holidays, and I'm sure you do want to, because who doesn't
That's
want
at the top of your list? Like, what am I going to get them?
What? Exactly. And like, how am I going to celebrate Amy and Margaret of the What Fresh Hell
This
podcast?
time of year.
Here's what you can do. You can leave us a rating or a review wherever you listen. It seems kind of silly. There's lots of ratings and review of the podcast. There's a dumb, weird thing where it needs to be 1,000 ratings and reviews before it counts as X and Y. I don't know what it is, but if you have 5 minutes to leave us a rating or review wherever you listen, it would help more people find the podcast.
And so many of you have done it already. We really appreciate it. If you haven't done it yet, keep it going. Just do it wherever you're listening right now. It really helps the show.
Thanks so much. And we will talk to you next time.
So long.